office or online at tickets.com.
Now, even more information is only a click away at WIVB.com. Ask the Expert gets you answers directly from the experts. Ask about excessive perspiration and blushing from the Center for Excessive Sweating. You may have hyperhidrosis, a treatable condition. Log on and find out more today. A world of information is just a click away at WIVB.com.
No one investigates like News 4. The federal government is trying to decide what to do with tons of radioactive material from the Manhattan Project.
News 4's Luke Moretti reports it's been temporarily stored both above and below ground in Niagara County for decades.
Behind this gate are stark reminders of a buried history of the town of Lewiston.
There is buried radioactive material.
Atomic materials that have been in the ground covered by a clay cap since the 1980s.
A majority of them have an extremely long half-life in the millions of years range.
The United States Army Corps of Engineers just released the findings of an 8-year investigation of the site. It concludes the clay containment cell is working and that there's no imminent hazard to safety or health.
This structure will be protected for another 200 years.
But not everyone accepts the government report on its face. University at Buffalo scientist Dr. Joseph Gardella.
I have no confidence in those conclusions. That's the strongest statement I can say.
Our fear is that it may be leaking. We don't know. We would like to find out more information.
To understand what's happening today, we need to go back in time 60 years, a time when a proud Western New York workforce did what was required to end World War II. August 1945, a mushroom cloud rises above Hiroshima, Japan. The atomic genie is out of the bottle. Results from a secret program known as the Manhattan Project, with a deep connection to Western New York, drops Japan to its knees, ending World War II.
Specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
This nation had one World War II. We had one Manhattan Project, and there's one Niagara Falls Storage Site.
Commercial industries in places like Niagara Falls, Lockport, Tonawanda, and Lackawanna provided much of the materials required to make the bomb.
We are standing right on the site of radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project. Correct?
Yes.
Located south of Lake Ontario and east of the Niagara River is the Niagara Falls Storage Site in the town of Lewiston. This once robust farmland is now a radioactive graveyard.
It's not designed for long term, and even the government recognizes it by using the word interim.
Bottom line, although the government knew how to make the most complex weapon known to mankind, little was done to find a permanent solution for the radioactive waste. In fact, for the first 30 years, it was stored above ground in this silo.
Certainly in the 80s, it was just inexcusable to have this much material stored in an open silo.
Will we ever know the exposure?
No.
From those materials being in the silo?
No. No. We won't.
In the mid-1980s, the government moved it from the above-ground silo. Today, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers must decide whether it stays forever. While the government claims there's no imminent public health threat to you, there is concern about the long-term storage of this radioactive material.
We know that there's a risk here. We have assumed that there is long-term risk here, and it needs to be dealt with.
This community paid a very high price for America to have its global standing, and the very least that's owed to us is the truth.
So what is the truth about the storage of atomic waste at the Lewiston site? If it's safe now, will it be 10, 20, or 100 years from now? Tonight at 11, why some people say they have serious concerns. Now, if you'd like to read the government's report, the most recent report on file, you can go to our website, WIVB.com. Luke Moretti, News 4.